My name is Tracy. I met my husband, who is the same age as me, through a mutual friend, and we got married at the age of 30. Our marriage started smoothly, like being friends. But then my husband, Aaron, started coming home late and couldn't let go of his phone even at home. Even on his days off, he would go out or come home late. I didn't want to think about it, but I suspected a little bit of infidelity, and it turned out to be true. Nice to meet you. You're Aaron's wife now, right? Yes, that's right. But what do you mean by now? And may I ask who I'm speaking to? I'm Lauren. I work with Aaron, and I'm a hot, young 22-year-old. Oh, all right. Do you need something from me? Did my husband do something? Recently, Aaron has been saying that you might be suspecting him of cheating. That's why we haven't texted or seen each other that much. So I thought maybe I should just convince you, his wife, and that's why I contacted you. Convince me? What? I'm sorry, but I can't follow your story. So I'm asking you not to interfere because Aaron and I love each other. We can be happy together if you're not around. So, are you openly declaring that you're cheating? Uh-huh. He told me that things weren't going well with you, and he said he would leave you soon and be with me. Excuse me? There hasn't been any talk of divorce or anything like that. Even if he didn't bring it up, you should have been able to tell from the atmosphere. Besides, he hasn't been spending time with you because he's been with me on the weekends. He says he feels more comfortable being with me. I see. I'll talk to him. This is a problem between the two of us. But of course you'll agree to the divorce, right? Because you wouldn't like the idea of a woman like me being around you, do you? Cheating is unacceptable, but divorcing isn't that easy. Why not? If you claim for compensation and get a divorce, you'll live a life of luxury. What do you mean? Because Aaron makes about $500,000 a year, right? I'm not sure because he works in a different department, but he only wears designer clothes. He must have money for sure. It's true that he likes designer brands. I definitely don't want to let him go. I'll be looking forward to the report on your divorce. Bye. Well, I thought Aaron might be cheating, but I never expected to receive such a provocative messages from his mistress. When I showed the messages to him, he admitted to cheating and begged me not to divorce him. I had a lot of things to say about the affair, but I still loved him at that time, so I decided to forgive him just once. But a few weeks later, have you still not divorced him? I told you that your husband was cheating, didn't I? Oh, Lauren, right? You caught me off guard the other day. Cut to the chase, we're not getting divorced. We're going to work things out again. Excuse me? Why? Are you so desperate that you need him to live? What do you mean by that? You're a full-time housewife. You got cheated on because you're so dependent on him. Did Aaron tell you anything? He said it was a pain for him to stay at home because you're always there. Are you sure? Did he really say that? There are other things, you know. He said he has no place for him at home. Or that he earns money, but he can't use it because you're managing it. It seems like he's really stressed. He's the one making the money, so let him use it on whatever he wants. But he was the one who asked me to take care of our finances when we got married. He said that was a big mistake. I work and support myself, and I also use money. Aaron and I went shopping together the other day, and it was so much fun. Have you been on shopping dates with Aaron lately? Oh, silly me. He's with me on his days off, so of course you haven't. I guess we haven't recently. Do you honestly enjoy such a married life? I wouldn't if I were you. Oh, I had so much fun buying designer brand items with him. I guess that's what it means to earn $500,000 a year. You bought that many items, huh? He bought things not just for himself, but he basically dressed me in designer clothes from head to toe. And it wasn't even my birthday or anniversary. I see. But that's not recent, right? I decided to forget about things that happened before when we had that talk to start over. Whatever. I know for sure that he prefers being with me. Oh, by the way, I'll be coming over to your house this weekend. Huh? Why are you coming to our house? Aaron hasn't told you? Our colleagues are planning a party at your house. A party? This weekend? That's in 2 days. You need to communicate with your husband more. I'm looking forward to meeting you. But you said before that you were in a different department. Why are you coming over then? Well, we work in the same company, and my boss and others are coming, so he wants a young girl like me to keep them entertained. I don't think you are fit for that. I see. But you have some nerve showing up at my place like it's nothing. I don't mind, you know. Even if everyone finds out at the party that he and I are together. But there will be bosses and others, so if it gets out, it's you and Aaron that'll be in trouble. You're quite confident, aren't you? I hope you take some time to think about how you should behave and carry yourself at the party this weekend. On the day of the party, I met Lauren for the first time, but we didn't talk much. She was not only cute, but also beautiful, and her style was perfect as a woman with well-groomed hair, nails, and body. The men around her were all charmed by her, and unfortunately, my husband was one of those men. The next day. Thanks for yesterday. You were quite impressive doing this and that all over the house. I had to entertain Aaron's boss, and everyone seemed to be glued to me. Sorry I couldn't help with anything. Thank you for coming to our place. Has Aaron returned? No, he said he will be working late today, so he will stay at his parents' house. Oh, I see. Recently, Aaron has been cold, but apparently he fell in love with me again after seeing how popular I was yesterday. He said he will have a celebration for yesterday. Well, leaving that aside, I saw you for the first time yesterday, but your skin is beautiful. For being in your 30s. Is that supposed to be a compliment? Of course it is! But your hands were dry and crusty. You need to moisturize them more. Otherwise, Aaron will be turned off. The skin tends to get dry, especially in this season. But I will take care of them from now on. Thanks for the advice. Well, it's understandable for them to get dry and crusty since your place is so big and you have many places to clean. But I should also be careful from now on, too. What do you mean by that? Well, because I will be living there soon. In this house? Uh-huh. I've decided to live in that house when I marry Aaron. When I visited yesterday, I found out that he lives in a high-rise and the room interior was lovely. So I decided to live there. I did all the decoration. You have good taste. But I'm sure you bought everything with Aaron's money, right? And you just chose them. Make sure you leave them behind when you move out. Oh, and Aaron and I will be on a trip from next week. This will be a good practice for you to live alone. You know, because you'll be divorced soon. Even though Aaron said he wouldn't cheat anymore, I was filled with anger towards him for continuing with his affair. And Lauren, who is even trying to take away our house, really ticked me off. So I decided to come up with a plan while they're on their trip. A few days later. Hi there! How's it going? We're loving our trip. Aaron and I are having a great time together. How is your life as a single person? Well, you'll be living as a single person from now on since the divorce is coming up soon. I'm glad to hear you're enjoying yourself. Oh, and Aaron told me that you guys finally made the decision to divorce. Thank you. although it could have happened sooner. I hope you're ready to be claimed for compensation. Yeah, that's fine. Nothing can get to me as long as I have Aaron on my side. Well, okay then. But it took you long enough to get a divorce. You're an adult, so you have to become more independent. This is all happening because you relied too much on your husband. Well, I hope you're ready to face what's to come. Huh? Are you trying to act all tough because you were dumped? First, the house. It's in my name because I bought it before we got married. But that's a lot of money. Well, I'm just a housewife now, but I used to work for T Corporation and my parents are wealthy too. T Corporation? You mean that company that has the hardest interview process? Uh-huh. They said about only 1 in 300 people got hired at my time. And the salary's pretty good, right? That's right. Besides, I'm not just a housewife right now. Aaron told me he wanted me to stay home, so I call myself a housewife, but I actually work as a day trader. I make way more than Aaron, you know. What? So you mean you make more than $500,000 a year? Aaron doesn't make that much. You should know that because you work for the same company even if you're in a different department. I think he only makes about $100K. Are you serious? Well, he must have a side job or something, right? Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to afford luxury brands. Well, that's because he has a joint card. He can't afford it with his income, but it's okay because I get to see the statement. I'll show this statement to my lawyer too. No, but I'm happy just being with Aaron. His income is much lower than expected, but the bosses seem to like him, so I'm sure he'll get promoted. If you're okay with it, then it's fine. When you guys return from your trip, we'll file for divorce, so please come back soon. Why did your attitude change so suddenly? Do you really want to get divorced that quickly? Well, I guess we'll come back soon. After signing the divorce papers in front of Aaron, who looked embarrassed, and Lauren, who was radiating happiness, I happily submitted them to the city office. Lauren, who couldn't get the house, seemed to have rented a room with a considerably high rent. Although it would be a lie to say that I had no lingering feelings for Aaron, compared to the painful life I had while suffering from his infidelity, my life as a single person was quite comfortable and happy. Until I received a call from Lauren, that is. Missed call. Please pick up the phone for a moment. What's going on? Why are you so frantic? I've divorced Aaron, and you two are supposed to have a happy married life, right? Well, he got fired from his job. Actually, I got fired too. We spent a lot of money during our honeymoon, and the rent for this room... Do you have any idea why? Well, the trip we took the other day... I checked, and even though Aaron was supposed to be there for work, he upgraded the room and everything. How do you know that? I can see his credit card statement, and his trip wasn't the cause of his unemployment. It seems like you two have been hanging out in various places during work hours on a regular basis. When I checked the statement in detail, it was actually shocking. But why did you contact the company? I exchanged the contact information with his superiors at the party we had at our place. Why did you do that? At that time, I thought they might be of help since they were his superiors, but I just used it to my advantage this time. He's not my husband anymore. That's terrible! Excuse me? Do you realize that you're the one who did something terrible? You not only went after a married man, but also provoked his wife. Well, that's true, but I never thought he would lose his job. Good luck with your job hunting. Wait, there's still something I want to ask. Has Aaron come over there? Aaron? There's no way my divorced husband would come here. But he hasn't come home for 2 days without any contact. We're still newlyweds, you know. Photo sent. What is this picture? I was surprised too, but it seems like Aaron was cheating not only with you, but with other women too. Why would you take such pictures? I thought I would tell you that your husband is cheating on you. I said the same thing to you before. Oh, you remember. Do you understand my feelings now? I don't think you can just think of divorce right away with all the shock and anger and various emotions welling up, huh? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. He seems to have a tendency to cheat, so he'll probably continue to cheat in the future. I feel lucky to be able to break up with such a man. It's all thanks to you. By the way, both of these photos are of married women, so you should be careful. Married women? Then maybe there will be a claim for damages. Most likely. Good luck. Oh, and don't forget about mine too. Please, I have no job and no savings, and I can't contact Aaron. I can't pay the money. Please, I'll do anything. Can you wait a little longer? When you talked to me about divorce, you seemed quite confident about paying damages. The situation has changed since then. Whether you can pay or not, that's not my concern. I have suffered more than that, so please pay for your sins. You can sell things in your house, borrow money, work for daily pay, do whatever you can, right? But selling my precious designer brand items, that's too much. I apologize, so please allow me to keep my branded items. Selling them is just one means. You can do whatever you want as long as you pay properly. You destroyed someone else's family after all. As long as you can prepare the money, I'll be satisfied. Oh, by the way, I'm going back to T Corporation for work. I'm really looking forward to returning now. What? Back to T Corporation? Please, I'll give Aaron back to you. I'll even apologize on my knees. Please forgive me. I don't need you to give him back. And I don't need you to apologize on your knees either. I just want the damages, please. Epilogue. When Lauren confronted Aaron, who had come back unexpectedly, she found out that he had been cheating on her with 5 other women. He hadn't come home because he had been caught by one of his affair partner's husbands, and they had been discussing what to do next. Lauren had wanted to divorce him, but Aaron had begged her. The two of them had sold most of their possessions, worked part-time jobs, and moved to an apartment without a bath or toilet. Lauren is now keeping a close eye on Aaron to prevent him from cheating again, but it's difficult for a cheater to turn over a new leaf. I have returned to work, and now I am enjoying my days filled with work and hobbies.
Husband loses 100K savings by investing poorly. Him. Money more important than me. Me? Duh. Divorce. Lol.
I'm Heather, a 42-year-old part-time housewife. My husband Trevor and I had an arranged marriage. At our matchmaking meeting, he modestly mentioned that his hobby was saving money. Even before we got married, he wasn't into flashy activities and would use coupons when we went out to eat on dates. I thought maybe he's got a good personality for diligently saving money. He was reliable and gentle, and I agreed to his marriage proposal. I'm a plain person myself, and I don't have any particular hobbies. My idea of a hobby was growing carrots and green onions in plastic bottles to save money. We lived in a cheap apartment and had a happy life with our only child, Kendra. 10 years have passed, and our daughter is now in the 4th grade. Recently, I've noticed that my husband is more focused on making money or trying for a get-rich-quick scheme than saving money. Right after we got married, I asked him if he would gamble on horse racing or other sorts. He firmly said, "I don't do that kind of hobby." But then I came home to find him holding a brown wooden object with a big grin on his face. "What is that?" I asked, and he replied, "I bought it from a street vendor near the station." That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking what it is. Turns out it was a bear statue. It's one of those Ainu traditional wood carvings that used to be at the entrance of every house in the previous generation. The one with the bear holding a salmon swimming upstream. The strange thing about this bear was its pose. Normally, the bear would be facing sideways with its face turned to the left, holding the salmon in its mouth. But this one was facing forward, holding the salmon proudly. It's a bear. I know that. But why a bear? And why buy it from a street vendor? And that's not even the right one. He explained. It's supposed to be good luck. He said the salmon symbolizes fortune. And the fact that it's facing forward is really rare. It's supposed to bring good luck directly to us. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. That sounded like a complete stretch. And it looked like it hadn't been sold for a while, covered in dust. How much did you pay for it? You won't believe it, he said, grinning from ear to ear. It was originally $200, but the seller let me have it for $100. He said he could see some deep connection between us. $100 for a bear? I was speechless. What a deal, right? It'll bring in good fortune for just $100. We'll be rich. He excitedly placed the bear in the most prominent spot in our entryway. As for whether the bear brought us any luck, whenever someone visited, we'd have a brief moment of excitement with comments like, "Oh, I remember one of these bears. These used to be in every house." Or, "How unusual! I've never seen one facing forward before." Other than that, my husband was thrilled when he got an extra slice of pork at the company cafeteria one day. Tired of the silliness, I told him, "Stop spending money on unrealistic things like attracting luck." But he misunderstood my advice, which led to an even more surprising event that happened during the summer bonus season. About the bonus, my husband brought up during dinner. "Yeah, thanks for your hard work. Our vacuum cleaner has been acting up, so I want to replace it. And we need a new air conditioner too." I was also thinking about moving to a new apartment and saving the rest of the money. "I used it all to buy lottery tickets." My husband revealed a thick stack of paper. "What? No way! That's ridiculous! Is this a bad joke?" I didn't want to believe that the stack of paper was all lottery tickets, so I blinked a couple times and looked again at what my husband was holding. But there was no doubt that it was lottery tickets. I was dumbfounded by the thickness of the stack. "You told me to stop relying on luck after the bear incident. So instead, I invested in something with a basis." "What basis?" "Listen, this new lottery has 10 million tickets per unit. This year, 26 units were sold. Since the winning amount is set per unit, there are 26 first-place prizes. So, if you only buy one ticket every year, your chances of winning first place are 1 in 10 million. But I bought 1,500 tickets this time, so my chances are now 1 in 666,666. Isn't that amazing?" What? You're not gonna win! Do you realize you're saying that there's a 666,665 in 666,666 chance you'll lose? But my chances definitely increased, right? You can't rely on something without a basis, like superstition. There's only luck in horse races and casinos, but there's always probability in the lottery. As for the result, it wasn't a complete loss, but we did win something. $900. We invested $4,500 and got back $900. This is ridiculous. Oh, stop it! Stop relying on luck or slim chances. You've learned that nothing good comes from relying on such things, right? Saving money is the only way. I lectured my husband for 2 hours. However, my husband misunderstood the meaning of saving money. One day, I suddenly found out about it. My daughter brought home a letter from school asking for the payment of the school lunch fee. That's strange. The lunch fee should be deducted from our savings account. We have been saving up for a down payment on a house, so there should be a balance of $10,000. I have been saving my part-time wages since I was single, and we have been putting the money left over from my husband's salary after living expenses into that account. It's strange that even the lunch fee couldn't be withdrawn. I went to the bank immediately. When I checked, there was a withdrawal from a company I'd never seen before, and the balance was 0. I couldn't help but shout in front of the ATM. When I got home, I looked up the company name on the internet. It was a securities company. What does this mean? Since I didn't know about it, it could only be my husband. During dinner, I took out the ATM receipt with trembling hands and asked, "Do you want to explain to me what this is all about?" Then he started to tell me something unbelievable. "It's okay. I can still get it back." What? I don't understand what you're talking about. He took a book out of his commuter bag. The cover says, "Learn Forex in a week." That's what it's all about. My husband says, "What do you mean?" He replies, "When I bought the bear statue, I was told not to rely on luck. I agreed. When it came to the lottery, I was told not to rely on something without a basis. I agreed. So, I thought if there's a basis, I could definitely increase our money. This is the basis? I studied by reading books and also used a Forex simulation app for a week." Huh? You're saying you lost $100,000 just by reading books for a week? Forex apps aren't even using real money, and they're usually designed for solicitation, so you're likely to win. You get that, right? Well, actually, I won at first. I invested $1,000 and it turned into $1,100. You should have stopped there. But that's not the case. I couldn't help but be dumbfounded. So you're saying that if you had invested $10,000, it would have become $11,000? No, that's not what I mean. Listen to me. I didn't invest with such a naive mindset. My husband says with a solemn expression, "I made a profit of $100 when $1,000 turned into $1,100. If I had put in $100,000 then, it would have become $110,000. I could have made $10,000, but in reality, I only made $100. I felt like I lost $9,900. I didn't steer towards an optimistic mindset that only thinks about profits. I shifted to a cautious direction to minimize losses." Seriously? What is this bonehead talking about? Who would use and lose $100K just by studying for a week? I don't even know what's going on anymore. The conclusion is the same. I yelled at him. But then he says, Wait, don't get so worked up. Look at this. This is the ad that got me started." He showed me the screen of his smartphone. I could see a title saying, "It's easy to increase your money with the smartphone app." It's the same vibe as the "It's easy to lose weight with this workout app" that appears on my smartphone. The ad goes like this. The girl in the ad says, I won with Forex, so I'll treat you to lunch. This is the secret. Increase your income by trading Forex during lunch while working. This is like saying, I aced the test while training hard to make varsity football. Jesus, are you a high school student? To be deceived by this, read a fishy book for a week, use a little app, and then lose 100K of our household money just because you had a small win is unbelievable. I slumped down onto a chair. No, it's okay. I still have $50 in my wallet. You're hopeless if you think you can get back $100,000 with that $50. There's nothing left to say to my unrepentant husband. It's over. That stupid bear statue was still sort of acceptable, but ever since he spent his entire bonus on those lottery tickets, those words have been on my mind. Let's get a divorce. His eyes widened. Of course, I didn't want to say such a thing. But we have a daughter, and with this much money already spent, there's no choice but to make that decision. However, to my surprise, my husband suddenly started yelling. Huh? I still have $50, so I can figure something out. He was unexpectedly getting angry. I was taken aback by this, but I replied with a sigh. No, it's okay. You don't need to do anything anymore. It's just impossible to stay together with you after you've lost 100K. Wait a minute. What do you mean? Do you care more about money than me? He began to get angry in a strange way. Why are we even talking about this? I was amazed by the turn this conversation took. Then he threw even more shocking words at me. You money grubber! Huh? Money grubber? I could feel my emotions cooling down rapidly. That's right! You just realized that now? I was surprised at how cold my own words sounded. Huh? He seemed taken aback. Little by little, my resentment towards him began to spill from my mouth. Money grubber? What's so wrong with that? Who are you to act so important when you've squandered everything? My feelings towards my husband were now in a deep freeze. An awkward atmosphere flowed between us. But even the Beatles say all you need is love, and Ariana Grande says love is everything. What's that got to do with anything? Your argument is all over the place. Hearing this man who lost $100,000 talk about love felt so hollow. Ridiculous. At the same time, I started to feel that maybe he should experience the same thing, or even get a taste of his own medicine. So, you're saying love is more important than money? I returned his words with a counterattack. Yeah, that's right. Fine. Remember those words, you jerk! I will never forgive the crime of losing $100,000 and the stupidity of his actions. I lit a fire in my frozen heart. We had our living expenses separate, so we were okay for the time being. My revenge began from here. 3 months later, as the year grew colder towards its end, my husband came home and immediately opened his mouth wide in surprise. What the hell is this? What do you mean? It's a tiger statue. Why a tiger? In the living room, there was a life-size 10-foot-long tiger statue. It was extremely realistic, even with its rough fur. Our daughter was riding on the huge statue that took up half of the living room, playing happily. I got it cheap on TV shopping, I smiled. They were getting rid of their rabbit figurines and statues for next year's zodiac sign, so they were clearing their inventory. Huh? He exclaimed. The year of the tiger is soon over. Well, that's to be expected. His question was too predictable. but it was cheap. And you know, tigers are said to bring good luck by capturing fortune. Rabbits don't have that kind of symbolism. Huh? It was originally $1,000, but it went down to $500 in the year-end inventory sale. It would be nice to capture some fortune. My husband stared in disbelief and dropped his briefcase. Take that, you jerk! This is a payback of the bear. But I didn't stop my counterattack there. I got a bonus. My husband hesitantly brought up the topic during dinner. Yes, you did. On December 10th, my husband received his winter bonus. Since the tiger incident, when I started squandering money, he seemed to be terrified of this day. Please don't spend it on things like lottery tickets, he said preemptively. Look who's talking. I didn't buy any lottery tickets, but... I grinned. I used the entire bonus to buy New Year's cards with lottery prizes attached. My husband's mouth hung open. Huh? Well, those cards aren't just for sending New Year's greetings. If you hold on to them, you can win luxurious prizes when the winning numbers are announced. I bought so many, I'm looking forward to the lottery results. You spent your summer bonus freely, so I used the winter one. He turned pale. He realized that I intended to pay him back in full. The fear was evident on his face. When the winning numbers for the New Year's cards with lottery prizes were announced, we won a few gift packages. We got fruits and meat. In other words, we had poured the entire bonus into it, and all we got back was fruits and meat. I served steak to my husband, saying, "Enjoy the bonus-flavored steak." But checking all those New Year's card numbers was hard work, especially with my bad eyes. I asked Kendra to help, but it still took us nearly 4 hours. Despite the fact that I shared an amusing episode of hard work, my husband ate his steak with a tearful expression. Then, a month later, as I sipped soup at dinner, I said, "You know, we had living expenses, right? I used that to buy some books." My husband choked on his soup. You could see that he thought I had finally started tapping into our last resort, the living expenses to buy those books. Considering my previous acts of revenge, it's not hard to imagine. His face grew even paler. I couldn't care less about his mood. I pressed on. I saw an advertisement on my smartphone and thought, why not? At this point, my husband began to tear up. "Please, stop," he said with a trembling voice. I never thought you'd go this far with your revenge. If you take our living expenses, we won't be able to survive. Let's end this. I agreed to the divorce." His voice was shaking, as was his body. I never thought losing money in an instant would be so terrifying. Well, it's nowhere near the $100,000 that you squandered. I know that. I'm really, truly sorry, and I never thought it would be this scary. But it's already too late. I will never forgive him for calling me a money grubber, and human nature doesn't change. No matter how much he cries or apologizes, nothing will change now. You understand now, right? The Beatles and Ariana Grande are saying all you need is love and love is everything, but that's only when they already have enough money. Yes. All right. Since you squandered $100,000, I'll take 4/5 of the remaining living expenses, and you'll pay for the child support. Yes. He signed the divorce papers. With this, everything was over for me. I put the papers in my bag. I'll take them to the city hall tomorrow. About the books I bought, I decided to tell him the conclusion of the matter. I spread out several books in front of my husband. The titles were IT Passport and Fundamental Information Technology Engineer. I got these 2 qualifications, Books can be used for things like this, you know? I then showed my ex-husband the screen that came up when I tapped my smartphone. I saw an ad for this online computer school, and it said it was a national qualification, so I thought this was the only way to get my income back. I attended online computer school classes to get these 2 qualifications. He bought 1 book on foreign exchange trading, but I bought 2 copies each of IT Passport and Fundamental Information Processing, so I had a total of 4 books. I continued. Actually, I planned to spend more living expenses to attend a computer school. But when I said, my husband squandered $100K and I have to divorce him, but I can't rebuild my life without a full-time job history, I was accepted into a vocational school with a corporate internship program. During vocational training, I managed to obtain the Applied Information Processing Technician qualification, and so I will become a system engineer no matter what. My husband was looking down. I continued. I told you, didn't I? With a solid foundation, you can definitely increase your income. And by foundation, I mean obtaining qualifications like this. You can't easily make money with half-baked knowledge. Even if you called me a money grubber, I was determined to divorce you. I knew that you would look down on me when that happened, saying, "What can a part-time housewife do after a divorce? You can't survive." I couldn't stand being told that. So, as a money grubber, I thought hard about a surefire way to make money. That's why I've been working single-mindedly for the past 6 months to get my hands on a method that will definitely make me money. Right? It's money over love, isn't it? Yes, it is money over love, he said, suddenly standing up and then sitting down. Please, support me. My angry shout echoed throughout the room. Hell no, you money grubber! And so I attended vocational school. At the self-introduction session at the vocational school, I announced, I'm divorced, and then declared, I have no way out but to do this. This is what it means to have one's resolve set. Maybe because of that, I made friends who encouraged each other to pass the exams. I attended the vocational school happily. There, I obtained the Applied Information Processing Technician qualification as well. I got a job at the company where I went for the corporate internship training. My annual salary exceeded that of my ex-husband. By the way, although handling fees are deducted from New Year's gift lottery postcards, they will refund the money if they are not used. I lost some money, but I managed to get it back that way. I thought it would be too cheap to take the tiger statue, so I left him at my ex-husband's house. Since child support is deducted from his salary, he has to live on a tight budget. He had no choice but to move into a studio apartment with a shared bath and toilet, along with the tiger. When my daughter went to check on him, the tiger was filling up his studio, and there seemed to be a bear at the entrance. Although he has to sleep in a strange position because he's blocked by the tiger, he said something like, I became attached to the tiger. I think it might have been the last present for him. If you want money, half-baked wisdom won't do. You need to obtain thorough wisdom. I wrote the exam date for the database specialist exam, which is a higher qualification than the applied information technology engineer, in my schedule.
My husband and I were having a video chat, and when I thought we finished, I saw a woman in the screen. And
that's when it happened. I heard voices coming from my computer screen. I quickly looked at the screen and saw my husband, Alex, and a woman. She seemed to be standing next to my husband, but I still couldn't see her face properly. Could it be an affair? I muted my side of the screen and also made the screen blank so that they couldn't see me. Then the woman's face came closer to my husband's face and was clearly visible on the screen. What? No way. My name is Lila. I am a 26-year-old office worker. I have a wonderful boyfriend. He's a colleague of mine and his name is Alex. When I first joined the company as a trainer, Alex was the one who taught me my job. He is very good at his job, tall and handsome. Whenever I am near him, he always smells good. He was so popular that all the female employees were after Alex, and he was one of the most popular guys in the company. Incidentally, there was another colleague whose name is Wayne, and he was also equally good-looking and good at his job. But he was rather blunt and gave detailed and strict instructions on work. So his reputation among female employees was divided into two sides. Some said that him being strict was cool and that was out of niceness, while others disliked him because he did not understand people's hearts and was not really gentle. Therefore, the majority of them were attracted to Alex, who was kind and gentle. When he confessed his feelings for me, I thought my heart would jump out of my chest. I was so happy that I even asked him if he was really okay with me. When I questioned him, Alex laughed and replied,
No, it has to be you, Lila.
I thought I was going to cry my eyes out. I think I was even more happy than when I got what I wanted for Christmas. So like that, we started dating. I'm really good at doing house chores, so I tried my best to serve Alex homemade food and clean his room for him. He complimented me on how delicious the food was, and he was very grateful when I cleaned his room. I was so happy about that I studied even more harder to learn how to cook. I kept my relationship with him a secret from everyone in the company. I kept it a secret from everyone in the company partly because there was so many rivals. Besides, I felt that I could not concentrate on my work if all my colleagues knew about my love life. I have said a lot of things about my love life, but I was also very serious about my work. I didn't want my bosses and colleagues to tell me that I was focusing in my love life. So, I kept my relationship with Alex a secret. He agreed with my idea. He was a good worker before he was just handsome or cool. So, he probably didn't want to have his work interfered with by being teased about his love life. Thus, we continued our secret relationship for about 2 years. Then one day, he proposed to me. Of course, the answer was yes. I thought I was in heaven when he proposed to me. I took the opportunity of our marriage to inform our relationship to the company. Everyone was very surprised. There was a little bit of jealousy from the female employees, but everyone gave me their blessing. Alex and my families greeted each other without any issue, and the marriage ceremony went off without a hitch. My parents-in-law were also very nice people, so I thought we had a really happy marriage. Then we went on our honeymoon and started our married life together. I woke up in the morning to find my husband sleeping beside me every day. I mean, that was natural, but that alone made me very happy.
No, really. You're really good at cooking, Lila.
My husband always eats my cooking really deliciously. That also makes me happy and makes me want to cook just for him again.
You could be a full-time housewife.
It would be great if I could eat your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I didn't quit my job after I got married. I like my current job. So, as you can imagine, I can't afford to make even a lunch for Alex, and I just make a really simple and quick breakfast in the morning. I'm glad you say that, but I'd still like to keep working. Even if you get pregnant? Well, I'll think about that when it happens. Okay, let's make a baby right away. Ah, jeez. You're being a bit too sudden. We were enjoying our newlywed life, flirting with each other like this. However, 1 year into our marriage, my husband was transferred to a new post, and he had to go by himself. I never thought this would happen. I'm sorry. My boss seems to expect a lot from me, and I couldn't just turn him down. I see. Then I guess it can't be helped. It's necessary for you so that you can get a promotion. I'll try to go home whenever I can. Let's have lots of video chats too. Yeah, okay. As a newlywed, this was quite painful and sad, but I didn't want my personal feelings to get in the way of my work. So I became patient and accepted it. And the more I didn't see him, the more I'm focused on my work. Since I was living on my own, I kept my housework to a minimum and used the extra time to study for my promotion exam. Because I had set a goal and was working hard, surprisingly, I did not feel that lonely, even though I did not get to see my husband every day. We had occasional video calls, and my husband came home every 2 weeks or so on weekends, and that was enough for me. Even at work, there was someone who saw my efforts properly. Lila, you have been working hard lately. You hardly make any mistakes, and I think that many of the projects you come up with are well thought out. Please, keep up the good work. Oh, thank you very much. I never thought I would get a compliment from Wayne. I felt like my abilities had been recognized, and I was very happy. Oh my gosh! Are you flirting with another handsome guy while your husband is away? Kat. Kat is one of my colleagues, and she's always mean to me. When I reported about my marriage to Kat, she said things like, "You're not good enough for him." And she always comes at me at every opportunity. Kat, on the other hand, does not take her work seriously. And she's the type of person who does things just to get by and slack off. To begin with, Kat is a married woman, and recently she has been working part-time due to her family's situation. So she only comes to the office about 3 times a week. I didn't understand why she was coming at me like that. I always try to let Kat off the hook, as it was just a waste of my time and effort to get involved. However, it is also true that it causes me a lot of stress. So I video chat with my husband after I got home from work to relax and relieve the stress. So the boss would explain to me all the time, seriously, not realizing that he had made a mistake. Then, at the end of the call, he would say, "Oh crap, did I make a mistake?" And everyone would laugh. That's just like him. Oh, it's almost 10 p.m. Let's call it a night. Oh, is it that late already? Well, you're right. I have work tomorrow, so maybe some other time. Alright, talk to you later. Yeah, talk to you later. I turned off my computer and was about to end the video chat when I received a text message about work just at that moment. So, I was looking at my phone screen for a few minutes and realized that I forgot to turn off the video chat. That's when it happened. I heard voices coming from my computer screen. I quickly looked at the screen and saw my husband, Alex, and a woman. She seemed to be standing next to my husband, but I still couldn't see her face properly. Could it be an affair? I muted my side of the screen and also made the screen blank so that they couldn't see me. Then I pressed screen record and decided to leave the evidence. I could hear a woman's coaxing voice. I wonder who it is, but it sounds familiar. I feel like I heard that voice today somewhere. Then the woman's face came closer to my husband and was clearly visible on the screen. What? No way! To my surprise, it was Kat, who was having an affair with my husband. When Kat and my husband brought their faces close, they kissed each other, really passionately. Alex was completely cheating on me with Kat. I bet Lila doesn't think I'm having an affair with you either.
Well, she's basically thick-headed, so that's understandable.
But why did you marry such a plain, dull woman like her?
Because she was the best cook and seemed the easiest to deal with. She's also in love with me and would do whatever I asked.
She's almost like a housekeeper to you.
But I was surprised when she said that she wouldn't quit her job. I thought she would quit her job as soon as I asked her to be my housewife.
She's strangely motivated at work, you know.
Oh, really? There's no way a woman can get a promotion. I mean, she wouldn't quit, so I volunteered to get posted to where I am right now.
Oh, so that's how it is.
You know, it's terrible to have your wife in the office. I can't do anything freely. I wonder if I could be assigned here for the rest of my life instead of just being posted here temporarily.
Oh, but if that happens, it's going to be difficult for me to come here.
But you're gonna come to me anyway, right?
Yeah. You are so pushy. I quietly hung up the video chat as the two of them started taking off their clothes. I will never forgive them. I will put that man to hell for sure. Fortunately, the two of them didn't even know that the video chat was still connected, and they told me themselves that they were clearly having an affair. I was able to record it well, which saved me the hassle of hiring a private investigator. My husband's birthday was coming up, so I suggested to him that we invite each other's families to our house for the first time in a while and throw a home party. My husband agreed to throw a party, saying it would be a great way to provide something fun for the family. At the birthday event, I told my husband that I had prepared a video for him and linked my computer up to the TV, showing him the video of the affair between my husband and Kat on the big screen. Both my in-laws and my husband were absolutely stunned by this. By the way, I told my parents beforehand about what was happening and what was going to happen. I was going to ask them to support me if anything happened.
How did you get this video?
My husband was not only having an affair, but also about marrying me. He simply wanted a housekeeper who would do what he said. I cannot stay married to such a person. Therefore, I want to divorce him. When I said this, my in-laws came over to me and apologized to me immediately, saying that they were truly sorry for their stupid son. Then, they snapped at my husband asking, "What are you doing?" Apparently, help from my parents weren't really necessary. I then sent a content certified letter to Kat's house. Therefore, Kat's husband found out about the affair. Kat and Alex were to be sued for alimony by both me and Kat's husband. My husband and I also got a divorce without any issues, and the division of property and other matters were also successfully settled. As expected, since all of us were at the same company, there was no way that the people at the company would not find out, and the rumor had already spread. Kat received cold stares from everyone around her, and she couldn't stand it any longer, so she voluntarily resigned from her job. My ex-husband continued to work at the company, not caring about what others thought of him. I am sure he did not want to lose to me, but I was determined to stay at the company. I was determined to get promoted before my ex-husband. With this strong determination, I devoted myself to my work. Then, to my surprise, my hard work had paid off, and I was promoted. My ex-husband said,
"How is that possible? How could a woman get promoted way ahead of me? You must have been cheating somehow. Did you flirt with the boss or the manager?"
I would never do that. When my ex-husband was having trouble making accusations against me, Wayne came over.
"Lila has risen to the top, all on her own. She did not do anything dishonest, and she is not the kind of person who would just flirt with the bosses to get her own way." "Hey, what's the matter with you? Don't butt into other people's businesses. We're having a conversation here. Outsiders like you better stay out of it." "Well, then you're the one who should be the outsider." "What?" "The boss is waiting for you."
With that, Wayne grabbed my ex-husband's arm and pulled him away.
"Wait, what the hell?"
They went into the conference room, and after about an hour, they came out with a department head. My ex-husband's face was lifeless, and he looked like he was about to collapse. I went over to Wayne and asked him what had happened. To my surprise, I heard that my ex-husband had been taking tons of work but pushing them to the newcomer staff. He also told me that Alex had promised the newcomer staff a date with a beautiful woman whom he said he would introduce to him as a reward for his work. He told the staff to cooperate with him if he did not want to be fired, and he made him do more and more of his own work, taking only the credit for it. The threatened staff became mentally ill and resigned voluntarily some time ago. When Wayne became suspicious and investigated about it, that staff told him about the incident and everything came to light. On Wayne's advice, the staff filed a damage report for the threats and also demanded compensation from Alex for his mental illness. As a result, Alex was arrested, and it was also required for him to pay the compensation. Naturally, my ex-husband was fired from the company. I don't know how he's doing since then, but I'm sure he's so full of debts that he can no longer afford to play around with women. Alex deserved what he got. Meanwhile, I was working even harder. Later, I was teamed up with Wayne for a project, and we were much closer to each other. And to my surprise, Wayne and I started dating. And 2 years later, we got married. Wayne is very capable of doing housework, so we have a very well-balanced married life, sharing the workload between the two of us. He is very faithful and looks out only for me. I would like to continue to build a happy family with Wayne while supporting each other. Alex really was a scumbag. An irredeemable scum of the scum is what I'd call him. I wonder what would have happened if the video chat had been turned off at that time. In any case, Lila is mentally strong. It was cool to see how she rose to the top by her own strength. I hope she and Wayne will continue to live a happily married life together. Thank you for watching until the end. If you like, please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.
My husband divorces me, who couldn't get pregnant, once he found out he got my younger sister pregnant. But as a result,
When I came home, my husband Tyson was already home, and my younger sister Beth had also come. Beth, you're here.
Yes.
Hey, I have something important to talk with Tyson today, so could you leave?
We also need to talk to you, Caroline.
Huh? We?
Caroline, I want a divorce.
Excuse me?
Well, actually, Beth is pregnant with my child.
What? My name is Caroline. I am 28 years old, and I work at an office. I met my husband Tyson when he was a business partner of mine and invited me to dinner. And from then on, we began to meet up and go on dates frequently together. He proposed to me, and we got married. We have been married for 3 years now. We sometimes fight, but we are not on bad terms. We both love kids, and I'm sure we will be able to build a good family once we have kids. However, despite these thoughts, we have not been able to have any kids. We have been trying to have a baby since we were newlyweds, so it should have been possible for us to have a child sooner. However, the fact that we could not have a baby, even after 3 years of marriage, made me a little uneasy. So I decided to talk to my husband about fertility treatment. Hey, Tyson, we've been married for quite a few years now, and I think it's time to seriously think about having a baby.
What? Seriously?
Well, I'm talking about fertility treatments and all. When I said this, my husband had a stern look on his face.
But infertility treatments cost quite a bit of money, don't they?
You don't have to worry about that. We have money saved up. Both of us still work, so we can afford it.
But it'd also be difficult for you physically, won't it?
That's true, but we still want to have a baby.
Aren't you being a little hasty?
Huh?
Even if you are over 30 years old, and even if you are in your 40s, people still get pregnant. I don't think you need to force yourself to have a baby now.
Tyson certainly has a point. I have a younger sister who is 7 years younger than me, and my mother had my sister when she was 34. When she gave birth to my sister, my parents had no particular intention of having a second child. But even so, when she gave birth to me, at the age of 27, she was doing a lot of things to have a baby, doing what we would now call fertility treatment. Since I am already 28 years old, beyond the age my mother gave birth to me, I can't help but feel impatient and want to get pregnant as soon as possible if I can. But I still think I want a baby now.
We don't even know if we're infertile in the first place, so I don't know if we should suddenly start treatment.
Then how about getting tested? When I said this, my husband looked a little annoyed.
Huh? An examination? You don't need one. I definitely don't think I'm infertile.
How can you be so sure?
That's because, you know, they say that women have a higher chance of infertility.
I was a little offended by this statement. What? So you're trying to say that I'm infertile?
I'm not saying you are, but it is a fact that female infertility is more common than male infertility. Men may cheat on wives a lot more though.
Don't tell me a stupid joke at a time like this. It's true that women are more infertile than men, but I've heard that men are infertile too.
I am not infertile. I've never had any serious illnesses and I'm perfectly healthy. In any case, let's have dinner soon.
With that, my husband changed the subject. But I was serious about discussing what was on my mind with him. Maybe my husband and I have different ideas about procreation. I felt a little sad, but I was sure that what my husband was saying was not completely out of line. He told me that it was normal for people in their 30s to be pregnant, and that women were more likely to be infertile than men. Feeling frustrated that I couldn't properly talk back to him, and also thinking that of course that there was a possibility that I was the cause, I decided to take a fertility test. That day, I got a paid leave in advance at work and went to take a fertility test. And when the test was over around noon, I decided to go into a cafe in town and have lunch alone. Then, by chance, I saw my younger sister Beth in the cafe. My sister was having tea with a guy about the same age. However, both of them looked kind of serious. Then they both got up and were about to leave the store. At that moment, my sister noticed me and came over to me.
Oh? Is that you, Caroline? If you were there, you should have called out to me.
Yeah, but you looked kind of serious with your boyfriend.
Did you hear what we were talking about?
No, I just got in here a little while ago.
I see.
My sister told her boyfriend, who was waiting behind her, that she was going to go talk to me for a bit and made him leave first, then sat down across from me. Oh, are you sure? I mean, about your boyfriend.
It's okay. I was just going home for the day anyways.
Well, I mean, he wasn't the same guy I saw about 2 months ago? That's right. Did you break up with the last one already?
That one, yeah. I think I broke up with him.
What do you mean, you think?
Well, as long as I'm happy now, that's all that matters.
You should think a little further ahead about your life, you know.
But I'm still a college student. I want to have as much fun as you can before I become a corporate slave.
A corporate slave? I guess it depends on the company. If you study hard, earn credits, and job hunt, you have a better chance of getting into a company that treats you well.
Oh, come on, sis. Don't be like Mom. Can I go over to your house today?
What? Why?
Because if you're here today, that means you're off work, right? Which means you have time to cook, right?
Well, it seems I don't have a choice. I'll make you something you like.
Yay!
I spoil my sister so much as if she were my own daughter, since she's way younger than me. Although my parents do discipline her to a certain extent, she's the youngest, so they let her have more freedom than they did when she was my age. After that, I stopped by the supermarket with my sister, came home, and proceeded to prepare dinner. Then, my husband came home around 7 p.m.
Oh, welcome home, Tyson.
Oh hey, it's you, Beth. I didn't know you were coming.
I came over for my sister's dinner today.
Well, it's going to be lively.
My sister had come over for dinner several times before, and because of her friendly personality, she and my husband quickly became good friends. The three of us had a nice meal and we all had a few drinks, but halfway through the meal we ran out of drinks. So I lost in a game of rock, paper, scissors, and I had to go to a nearby store to buy some.
Oh, I want some ice cream too.
Me too.
Okay, ice cream, drinks, and snacks. I took my wallet and left the house. And when I came home after buying the things, my sister was gone. Hey, where's Beth?
Oh, she got hot, so she's taking a shower right now. She wants ice cream after her bath.
Goodness, she really gets to do whatever she wants, huh? Oh yeah, I had my fertility test today.
What? You seriously took the test?
Because I wanted to be sure. The results should come out in a few weeks.
So, what if you find out that you're infertile?
If they say we'll never be able to have kids, I'll give up. But if the chances of having children are low or something, I'd like to have fertility treatment.
Seriously? You were that serious?
What, you don't want to have a baby with me?
I do, but I don't want to go through the infertility treatment.
I see. Maybe you and I have different ways of thinking fundamentally. Then my sister came out of the bath at this point, so the conversation ended there. After that, things became a little awkward between my husband and I, and we spent more and more time in silence. Then the test results came back, so I went to the clinic after work. Then the doctor made a surprising statement. Upon the test, you're not infertile, so you can get pregnant without any issues. Oh, really? Yes. So if you can't get pregnant, you might want to have your husband come in for an examination to find out. Okay, I understand. I felt relieved to find out that I was not infertile, but worried at the same time whether I would be able to continue married life with my husband. If I was not the cause, then there was a high possibility that my husband was the cause. My husband was not likely to be willing to undergo tests and fertility treatment. It is true that I have become a little disappointed with my husband because of this incident. I was worried that if we were to have a baby, he would not put our family first as a husband and a father. But for now, I had to report the test results to my husband. Then we would discuss what to do. When I came home, my husband, Tyson, was already home. And my younger sister, Beth, had also come. Beth, you're here. Yes. Hey, I have something important to talk with Tyson today, so could you leave? We also need to talk to you, Caroline. Huh? We?
Caroline, I want a divorce.
Excuse me?
Well, actually, Beth is pregnant with my child. So, I'll divorce you, and I'll get married to Beth.
What? It was so sudden that I couldn't catch up with what was going on. Oh, Caroline, I'm really sorry.
It's not your fault, Beth. It's because I was weak. And if we have a child, I have to take responsibility.
Tyson.
Seeing the two of them start flirting in front of me, I felt somewhat really angry. In general, just having physical relationship with your own wife's sister is disgusting. But being in a relationship with a college student who is way younger is just not possible. My affection for my husband was gone in an instant. Oh, I see. So, we're getting a divorce and you're going to get married to Beth. Well, why don't you do whatever you want? But I'll make sure I get alimony. My husband and sister were surprised that I backed down so easily, but said,
Well then.
And handed me the divorce papers. I quickly filled them out, packed my belongings, and quickly left the house. After filing the divorce papers on the same day, I went back to my parents' house and reported the matter to them. My parents heard about it and were outraged. They immediately called my sister and declared that they'd cut off ties with her. My parents were so outraged that they reported this to my ex-husband's parents. My ex-parents-in-laws apologized to us and cut ties off from Tyson. I then demanded alimony from Tyson and my sister. However, my sister is a college student, so my husband paid the entire amount. Thus, I left my husband, cut off my sister, and started a new life. 2 years later, I married one of my colleagues. To my surprise, we soon had a child. 3 years later, I was walking the streets with my husband and my daughter when I was suddenly approached by someone.
Oh, Caroline?
What? Oh, Tyson.
Long time no see. How have you been?
Oh, yes, it's been a long time. My ex-husband glanced at my now husband and at my daughter and grinned.
I didn't expect you to remarry.
I told my current husband to go ahead and take my daughter and walk out first.
And you remarried a man with a child. That's quite a step.
I went through the sarcasm and asked my husband a question. Well, what about you? Are things going well with my sister, whom you cheated with while you were married to me? My ex-husband looked bitter when I said this.
Beth. She spends a lot of money and doesn't do any housework at all, so it's really difficult for me.
Well, I guess it must be. I never saw her doing any housework. She also had all her boyfriends pay most of the bills for her.
You know, the baby she gave birth to looks nothing like me at all. I wonder if the baby is really mine.
Well, probably not.
Excuse me?
I forgot to tell you that the day you and I broke up, I was told that there was nothing wrong with me after a fertility test.
Excuse me?
To prove it, the daughter my husband has now is my own daughter that I gave birth to.
No way.
That's why you are most likely infertile. My ex-husband's face turned pale all at once. Also, actually a little after you and I divorced, I bumped into my sister's boyfriend at the time.
Boyfriend?
We talked for a while and he told me that Beth had told him that she was having a baby, but she didn't know whose it was.
What?
So she was just looking for someone to marry and provide for her at the time. And thought that you'd be a great option, I guess.
Oh no. So, I've been with someone else's child?
Well, I don't feel sorry for you at all, since it's your fault for being unfaithful like that. Well then, I have my precious husband and daughter waiting for me, so I'm going now. Goodbye. My ex-husband watched me leave in a daze. I don't know what happened to my ex-husband and Beth after that, but I'm sure they must have gone through quite an argument. Well, I don't really care because it is no longer my business. Meanwhile, I am getting along very well with my current daughter, my husband, and my family of 3. My home will be completed soon, and we will move into a new house. I am looking forward to starting a new life in a new home with my husband and daughter, whom I love. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.